What do the cure for syphilis, Viagra, and the COVID-19 vaccine have in common? Probably just one answer: Pfizer. But behind this pharmaceutical giant lies a much more complex story, full of ambition, controversy, and, of course, an undeniable impact on global health. Our story begins in Brooklyn, New York, in 1849. Yes, in the middle of the 19th century, two German immigrant cousins, Charles Pfizer and Charles Erhardt, pooled their modest savings, a meager $2,500, to found a company called Charles Pfizer and Company. At first, no miraculous vaccines. They were dedicated to fine chemistry, producing dyes, preservatives, and, above all, citric acid. What for? Mainly for the food and beverage industry. Imagine Pfizer sweetening your Coca-Cola long before Coca-Cola existed. The early years were about pure survival. Fierce competition, tight margins, and the constant shadow of bankruptcy. But Pfizer had something that others didn't: a vision. An ability to adapt that would allow them to weather the storms and emerge strengthened. The first big break came with the American Civil War. The government desperately needed analgesics and antiseptics for its soldiers. Pfizer answered the call, mass-producing morphine and iodine. The war was a horror, but also a catalyst for the company's growth. Then came fermented citric acid, a technological advancement that revolutionized the production of this essential ingredient and catapulted Pfizer to the top of its industry. Suddenly, the small family business was expanding, building new factories, and hiring more employees. The 20th century brought new challenges and opportunities. The era of antibiotics was just around the corner, and Pfizer was determined to be a part of it. Penicillin, discovered by Alexander Fleming, promised to be a miraculous cure for bacterial infections. The problem was that producing it on a large scale was a real headache. This is where Pfizer once again demonstrated its ingenuity. They invested heavily in research and development, perfecting a fermentation process that allowed penicillin to be produced in industrial quantities. Thanks to Pfizer, penicillin went from being an experimental treatment to an accessible medicine for millions of people. World War II further accelerated this process. The US government needed as much penicillin as possible to treat its wounded soldiers. Pfizer became a key supplier, saving countless lives and consolidating its position as a leader in the pharmaceutical industry. After the war, Pfizer diversified, exploring new therapeutic areas and launching a series of innovative drugs. But it was at the end of the 20th century that its real bombshell arrived: Viagra. Viagra, originally developed as a treatment for high blood pressure, turned out to have an unexpected side effect: it improved erectile function. The rest, as they say, is history. Viagra became a cultural phenomenon, an unprecedented sales success, and a symbol of the modern era. But the story of Pfizer is not without its shadows. Over the years, the company has faced accusations of unethical business practices, misleading advertising, and price manipulation. Some of these accusations have resulted in lawsuits and heavy fines. And here is where our myth or urban legend comes in. Is it true that Viagra was discovered purely by chance, while Pfizer scientists were looking for a cure for angina pectoris? The short answer is yes, but with nuances. It is true that sildenafil, the active ingredient in Viagra, was being investigated to treat angina. But the initial clinical trials were not very promising in that regard. However, researchers noticed that some patients experienced erections as a side effect. Instead of discarding the drug, Pfizer scientists decided to investigate this side effect further. And so, thanks to a combination of serendipity, rigorous research, and a good dose of commercial insight, Viagra was born. Today, Pfizer is one of the largest pharmaceutical companies in the world, with a presence in more than 175 countries and an annual turnover of over $50 billion. Its product portfolio includes everything from over-the-counter medicines to innovative therapies for complex diseases such as cancer and Alzheimer's. The COVID-19 pandemic once again put Pfizer in the center of global attention. Its vaccine, developed in record time in collaboration with BioNTech, proved to be a crucial tool in combating the virus and saving lives. But it also generated controversies, debates over patents, and accusations of prioritizing profits over equitable access to the vaccine. Pfizer, a name that evokes hope, innovation, and progress. But also a name associated with controversy and the relentless power of the pharmaceutical industry. A company that has transformed medicine but has also been the subject of criticism and scrutiny. Because something me's behind a simple logo, there is a whole story that few know. Did you like this tour of Pfizer's history? If you want to discover more myths and brands, subscribe to our channel and leave us your comments.